Hey, welcome back to your favorite Fundamentals of College math class. We're going to take a look at personal finance in this unit, specifically percent, sales tax, and discounts. Here's our objectives. We'll start out with discussing what a percent is. The word percent means per 100%, right? Per 100. So what we're going to do, and we're converting a fraction to a percent, we're going to convert that. We're going to go ahead and do the division, and then get it as a decimal to then convert it to a percent. We'll go through those steps right here. So for example, 3/4. Let's say we're doing this longhand. I know you can punch it into your calculator, but let's go ahead and just remind you how to do long division. 4 does not go into 3. 3 is smaller. All right, this is going to be a number less than 4. 3/4 is part of a whole. So go ahead and put in 0.0 here. 4 goes into 30. 7 times 4, 28. You subtract that. You got 2, go ahead and bring down 0. 4 goes into 20 cleanly 5 times. 5 times 4, 20, and we have no remainder. That decimal goes straight up and you get 0.75. So 3/4, same as 0.75. Right, so once you get it to a decimal, and of course you can do the same thing with your calculator, right? You just go 3 divided by 4, and you got 0.75. So we get to 0.75. Now, if we're going from a decimal to a percent, okay, this 0.75. What you're going to do is you're going to move it right 2 places, because what this means is 75 100ths, right? It's in the hundredths position, 75 hundredths. So that's a percent, 75 per 100, 75%. So when you get a decimal, you move it right 2 decimal places. All right, so you move it over twice and then add the percent on there. All right, so again, from the fraction, so from the beginning, we had 3/4. We got 0.75, so now it's a decimal, and we just move it over. That's percent. Move it over 2 decimal spots, so 75%. Let's do another one. 5/8. 5 divided by 8. Well, 8 does not go into 5, so you got to add in the 0.0. 8 goes into 50 6 times. Bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20 twice. Bring down a 0. 8 goes into 45 times, and now we're got no remainder. That decimal goes straight up. So 5/8 becomes 0.625. Move it over twice. That's 62.5%. Okay, there it is again. All right, so like we said, the decimal going to percent, we're going to move it to the right twice. So 47 hundredths is 47%. Again, what does this mean? 0.47, this is the tenths position, that's the hundredths position. This means 47 100ths, right? It's 47 per cent being the 100, so it's just 47%, right? Just move it right twice. All right, how about expressing a percent as a decimal number? So now we're going to go 2 to the left. For example, 19%. Well, right now the decimal's right here, so we're moving it left 2, so it's 0.19. Again, what does this mean? 19% means 19 per 100, which is 0.19. Right, if you were to go 19 divided by 100, that's 0.19. 180%, move it left 2, so 1.80, or we don't need to put a 0 on the end, of course, that is 1.8. Again, what does that mean? 180% means 180% per 100. That's the same as 18 tenths, or 1.8. That's what it means. That's why we move that left too. All right, so when you're going from a percent to a decimal, move left 2 places. Okay. All right, percent sales tax and discounts. So you have the equation here. The amount A is P percent of B. Let's do some examples here. These also always work into sales tax. How much taxes paid? So part A here, we got this sales tax 7.5%. You purchased a bicycle for $894. Part A, how much tax? How much tax is paid? Well, what you want to know is what is 7.5% of $894 because we got to pay the sales tax, right? So the tax paid is equals 7.5%. Now, when you're working with percents mathematically, you don't leave them as a percent. You got to convert that to a decimal. So move it over twice, so 0.075, right? There's an imaginary zero right there. Left twice. 0.075 of means multiply. So we're going to multiply it by 894. So 0.075 times 894, let's see, that gives you $67.05. So there's your tax. So B, what's the bike's cost? Total cost. Well, that will be the bike cost plus the tax. Well, the bike costs $894. The tax is $67.05. So it looks like we end up with 961.05 as the total. Oops, the total cost there, 961.05. All right. So what, what's the tax is equals 0.075%. You're taking that, convert it to a decimal before you work with it mathematically, of multiply 894, right? That's how you're going to get your sales tax there, and then just add it to the price, and that's your total cost. Let's do another one here. A discount amount. So we're going to find the discount rate and then subtract it from the original price here. So let's go ahead and do this one here. We've got a computer. Its original price is $14.60, but it's on sale 15% off. So part A, what's the discount amount? Well, first of all, the question is, what is 15% of 1460? Because that'll tell us how much money we're saving. So what's the discount? Discount is equals 15%. Again, move it left to work with this as a decimal of times 1460. So 0.15 times your 1460. Let me punch that in here. I got 219. That's our discount. So we're going to save $219. So the sale price, total price you pay, is the original price minus the discount. Discount. I can't draw very well. Write very well in the end there. So the original price was $14.60, but we're saving 15%. So we found out that 15% saves us $219. Right? Dollars. So the 1460 minus 219 ends up being 1241. So that's the sales price that we're going to pay because we save 15%. All right, percent increase and percent decrease. I like to think about this. I like to keep the signs when I do this. So the percent increase or decrease, here's how I think about that. Decrease is the final amount minus the original amount, and you're comparing it to the original amount. That'll tell you if you've gone up or down in price, the percent increase or decrease. So for example, part here in 2000, the world population is approximately 6 billion in the year 2000, right? So 6 billion right here in the year 2000. These are in billions. The data are from the United Nations Family Planning Program. Programs are based on optimistic or pessimistic expectations. Right? So we don't know exactly how much it's going to increase, but we can project it, so we can extrapolate optimistically or pessimistically. Part A, find the percent increase in world population from 2000. So in 2000 it started at 6 billion to 2150. So 2150 it looks like it's up here at 30 billion. Okay, so in 2000 the original world population is 6 billion. Right, these are in billions, 6 billion. And then it increases to, in the year 2150, 30 billion. All right, so this is the original 6 billion. This is the final 30 billion. So this is an increase, obviously. So the percent increase or decrease is the is the final amount minus the original divided by the original. Okay, so in the year 2150, we're at 30 billion. Now, again, this is in billion. Minus, originally we started at 6 billion. And we're going to compare this, right? So this is a 24 billion increase. But we're going to compare it to the original 6 billion. So this is 24 over 6, which is 4. Now, this is a number. This is not as a percent right now, right? This is our decimal. So this is 4. In other words, 4.00. So what is that? That's a 400%. And this is a positive number, increase. Right? If we had a negative on there, it'd be a decrease. Because if you think about this, like we're starting at 6 billion. Well, what's 100% of 6 billion? Well, that's 6 billion. So if we would have gone from 6 billion to 12 billion, that's a 100% increase, right? 100% increase going from 6 billion to 12 billion. But we didn't. We went a lot more than that. We went from 6 to 30. All right, so we had a 400% increase. All right, because that's a 100% increase going up by 100% of 6 billion. That'd be another 100% increase. That'd be another 100% increase, and that'd be another 100% increase. So you can see that's a 400% increase. Okay. All right, let's do. I gotta erase this, and let's do part B now. Find the percent decrease in world population from 2000 to 2150. Okay, so we're starting at 6 billion. This is our original amount. Original amount, 6 billion in the year 2000. We're going to 2150. This is the low projection, right? So this is the pessimistic projection that we actually decrease in our population growth to 4 billion. So our final amount is only 4 billion. So the percent increase or decrease is our final minus the original, and you're comparing it to the original amount always, right? So the final amount, we think it's going to go down, the population is going to go down to 4 billion. We're comparing it to the original 6 billion all over to 6 billion. So we got negative 2.6, which is negative 1/3, which is negative 0.3333. Anyways, this keeps going. So the negative says decrease. So that's a decrease of, and I'm going to move that over, 33.3%. I know this keeps going. That's a decrease, right? That's what that negative tells you. and you just punch into the system. 33.3% because you know this is a percent decrease. All right? And here's your written out discussions there. John Tesh, well, he was still co-anchoring Entertainment Tonight, reported PBS series Civil War had an audience 13% versus the usual 4% audience. An increase of more than 300%. Did Tesh report the percent increase correctly? All right, so percent increase, decrease is final minus the original dividing by what you're comparing it to the original. So it's saying it went up to 13%, starting at a typical 4%, comparing that to 4%. So this ends up being 9 over 4, which is a 2.25 or 225% increase, right? Move that over twice. Not 300%, right? If you're going from 4% up to 13%, that's a 225% increase, not 300%. So that was reported incorrectly. Again, if you're typically 4%, 100% increase would take you up another 4%. So 4% plus 4% would be 8%. So we know it's definitely more than 100%. We go up another 4%, that's 12%, right? So that would be a 200% increase, but then we're going 1% more than that. So again, works out to be 225% increase when you do the math. Thanks so much for listening. See you guys next time.